Jagannathan Thunaguntla, equity head at SMC Capital, joins us right now on the show. Jagannathan, good having you. Thanks much for joining in. How do you sum up the market mood right now? Because we had a bit of a spurt, short covering led bout on Thursday's session. Today we are a bit flat in trade. What are you recommending clients to do?
I feel this will be one more that kind of year where there will be a lot of data heavy, news heavy year, but there may not be much excitement from the equity markets point of view. For long only funds, I think it may be difficult to make money on the absolute basis. But for the traders, probably it makes sense to be playing the range bound market neutral products, wherein the market to remain in the range of 400 to 500 points, so they can keep writing the options on either side and then take advantage of that. I feel this will be one of those boring years from the market point of view, but it will be exciting on the news, but nothing much expected to happen on the markets.
Jagannathan, everyone's hinging their hopes now on the earnings that is likely to drive the index higher. Do you think that is also likely to be boring, and which are the sectors that you think will outshine and those that will be laggards?
Somehow I don't think earnings season can be a trigger for rally because I'm not expecting much happening even on the earnings season. This will be one of those lukewarm earnings season, about 12 to 14% at best kind of earnings season. There may be stock specific action and maybe in some pockets, especially in those segments where the stocks have beaten down very, very badly. Probably the results may become an excuse for a short covering or a technical bounce kind of thing, be it Reliance Industries around these sub 800 levels, or maybe Syntex Industries around these levels of sub 50 levels. I think some of the stocks have fallen to unexpected levels, so probably earnings can become a reason for bounces. But having said that, this may be only a stock specific move. I expect that largely the Nifty may remain in the range.
Let's talk about some large caps, Jagannathan. Not too many news today, but Sterlite down close to 3.5 or 4% The Tuticorin plant again shut due to pollution reasons, and metals per se have been weak despite a couple of upgrades coming today. What's the call on the base metal stocks?
I feel for very, very long-term investors who are, let's say, 3, 4, 5 years, maybe the current levels where, let's say, Hindalco's and Tata Steels of the world are trading, probably gives an excellent opportunity to adding to the portfolio. But having said that, in short term, it may be difficult to make money on this from the investing point of view. For traders, yes, I think the metals being the proxy to the overall market mood, and moreover, whenever the market falls, metal stocks tend to fall much more severely. So I feel it makes sense to be on the short side, but for very, very long-term investors, probably these are opportunity to start building up the portfolios.
Jagannathan, do you think you'd be a bit circumspect on the overall auto space, given that the March auto sales numbers are going to come out, and the four-wheeler sales, they're likely to decline by over 20%, and two-wheeler sales are likely to be down by 2% YOY?
Yeah, automobiles, again, one of those segments where the growth is appearing to be very, very difficult. The stocks have not surrendered as much in comparison to the way the sales are coming down. I feel one wave of selling may take all these auto stocks much at lower levels. So I think whoever is sort of sitting on decent profits, it makes sense to exit the stocks for once, probably then to re-enter. Tata Motors was a case in the point, and when everybody thought that Indian business hardly matters because most of the profits were coming from the overseas. The Indian market, when it started posting profits, then naturally the stock tend to go down because whatever the good work that the company is doing in the overseas, I think being washed out by the Indian operations. So all in all, especially the Tata Motors was not trading at very cheap levels around 300. But having said that, around this 240, 250 levels if the stock comes, probably that may be a opportunity to add it to the portfolio.
The other set of stocks, just a couple of them essentially, maybe a Bharti Airtel or an Idea. What's the call on telecom, and particularly Bharti? Lots of legal issues still surrounding, but 290 the price is corrected. What would you do?
I think again one more very long-term bet. I think I'm not expecting much to happen in the short term. For that matter, I think telecom may not be an outperformer for the equity market for many years. Simple reason that in a country with 120 crore population, the mobile connections have already crossed 100 crores, meaning thereby the growth momentum opportunity is very, very less. I don't buy the logic of 3G and 4G. So all in all, the routine voice and data business, I think it will be just a royalty kind of business. Whatever the companies get out of the existing customer base, new customer additions will will be very far and few, and actually the numbers are going down, the customer additions are becoming negative. So whatever the Africa is the only trump card that Bharti can anticipate. Otherwise, nothing much to write home about as far as Indian business is concerned. So all in all, the summary is that telecom may not be an outperformer, but it is one of those blue chip stocks, and you can add it to the. And if you are typical that 5-6 years kind of portfolio builder, you can forget it. But for the short term, I'm not expecting telecom to give much money.
Jagannathan, what would you make of the overall divestment drive, which has certainly picked up some momentum, and some of these candidates, would you look to bet on them for the long term?
Yes, some of them maybe yes. I think NMDC at the current level appearing to be a convincing bet. Just that it's strange that the way the stock has fallen after that initial bounce after that offer for sale. I think, but at the current levels, probably NMDC is appearing to be a fascinating theme. It may be one of those stocks around this results season. Probably can take the results as an excuse to bounce. I think it will be a fascinating stock to keep a watch, keep an eye on. And probably, of course, Coal India. I think I'm sure the stock may slip towards maybe 280, 290 towards that offer for sale. Whenever that happens, again an opportunity for everyone to add to the portfolio, whatever the people have in their portfolios from the IPO days. Probably it is one more opportunity to add to the portfolio. Yeah, I think this offer for the way the stocks are falling around this offer for sale gives opportunity for the portfolio builders. But having said that, for the existing investors in the stocks, that will be a painful experience to see the stocks falling just for the sake of offer for sale. But for the new buyers, that's an opportunity.
Jagannathan, what do you do with some of these power ancillary companies? I'm not talking about power generation, but you think over the next 6 months things could improve? It has been in works for a while. Lots of talks have taken place. Nothing concrete has happened. Can something happen over the next 6 to 9 months?
I'm not bullish on the overall this power story, because it's one of those sectors where lots anticipated in terms of reforms from government, and considering that the very government is under question, I feel they may not have enough legroom really to do many structural reforms on the power. But having said that, power financing companies, be it REC, PFC or power PTC Financial Services, that may be one area where if one has patience, one can look at, because trading at reasonable valuations and the anticipation with the agreements with and the state government electricity boards probably can give a relief rally in all these stocks. May not be a bull on the power, but sort of bullish on the power financing companies.
Jagannathan, which are the mid-cap banking stocks that you would advise people to put their money in?
City Union Bank, we have been bullish for quite some time. South Indian Bank, we like. In mid-cap PSU banks, if somebody wants to make a tactical bet in terms of, because the stocks have fallen so much and the valuations are so reasonable, probably one can make a case for Dena Bank and UCO Bank. But having said that, if one has to choose between mid-cap private sector banks versus mid-cap PSU banks, probably mid-cap private sector banks appears to be a better logic.
Jagannathan, always appreciate you joining in. Thanks so much for taking the time out and being with us.